two, a one, two, three. Hey, love is more precious than gold. Can't be bought, be sold. Well, I've got love enough to spare. That makes me a millionaire. I've got a woman with eyes that shine down deep like a diamond mine. She's my treasure so very rare. She's made me a millionaire. That's all I got.
No, that's more than enough, Jeff. Thank you so much, man. That's quite the track, man.
Hey, man, it's I blame my wife for that.
No, you can't. You got to thank her.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, man, dude. Without this woman's got her wings already. Let me tell you.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Welcome to the show, man. It's been, I guess it's been a few weeks since we chatted, but we had a great conversation, and we just want to carry it over to this show now, and we got a lot of interesting things to talk about. So welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Let me do a couple of shout outs right off the bat. Just a little housekeeping that I got to do. I'm wearing Mike's shirt, Integra Bell, his tie-dye shirt. I think he had it made back in the 70s, but I'm wearing it today, so we'll deal with that. That's fine. I also want to do another shout out. Dimitri got a hold of me, and anybody who's looking for some work in the Toronto area, you've got Our Way Contracting looking for some good guys to come on board. They need to learn, they need to know how to read drawings, layouts, and they need to do metal framing. So call Dave at 416-602-3856. 416-602-3856. Now, Jeff, let's get over to the deets with you. Jeff Kutas, and it's MB Sentinel, and you're the co-inventor, and it's www.mbsentinel.com. You can reach him at jeffrey@mbsentinel.com, and it's all over social, MB Sentinel on Instagram and the other channels. On LinkedIn, you've got both of them, which is your personal one and also under the company name. And we are talking, I wouldn't classify these as mailboxes, right? Like, this is not a mailbox.
You know, we feel like we reinvented the mailbox.
Yeah.
It's a combination. We have a variety of products, but mailbox, combination mailbox and parcel safes. It's we have, like we said, we have a variety of these things. Everybody has the same problem, but not everybody requires the same solution, right? So if you want it to be a mailbox, we have a full functioning mailbox with a package delivery compartment.
So what's the origin of it? Where did this all start, and who came up with it, and how?
Man, and I just coming off a bad retail experience. Amazon crushed my business. So I'm trying to reinvent myself, and I was home officing. A postal carrier came to my house like 3 times a week. I hadn't been home in almost 20 years. I'm like, man, where are all these packages coming from? I was retail dad every day, right? I got home after dark and got up before the sun came up. It seemed like when you have brick and mortar like that.
Yeah.
But I just realized that these delivery carriers, I was like, my God, I knew how that impacted my business. That effect that it actually had on the delivery. Postal carrier was running around like, man, unbelievable. If Jeff Bezos could have seen what he did to my postal carrier back then, it's just somebody needs to reinvent that thing. And it's just kind of moment I thought, maybe I should do that. And it just stayed with me. A few months later, I started, and I think this is what I want to do. So,
and it makes you wonder, Jeff, that how come somebody else didn't think about this beforehand?
Honestly, when I went out to all these trade shows and met a lot of folks during the integral part of the business, just working to, understand what people wanted, everybody told me that I stole their idea. So I think they did think about it. I just think that I did it.
That's the difference.
That's the difference.
Well, everybody's got an idea in their head, but they don't have an idea.
Oh yeah, they were like, you stole my idea.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
What was the research, Jeff, when you started talking to people? Were you just looking at your own family situation and just realizing, hang on a sec?
Honestly, man, I truly had to reinvent my business life. And I thought, well, what do I want to do with what I have left? I mean, this just happens, right? It's like, well, here I am, I should be thinking about retirement. And now I'm trying to figure out what I need to do to recover from 20 years of losing everything. Yeah. So I thought, but I really wasn't interested in a service-based business. I definitely wasn't interested in doing anything third party. So I just want to make something. So the mailbox just kind of fit the mold of what I wanted to do. And I grew up in craft as a young guy, and all those experiences, blended with my brick and mortar retail experience that, also gave me the logistics experience because we had a wholesale business also. So all of this just kind of came together. But when I started looking at this thing to understand if it was something I wanted to spend the rest of my, the next part of my work life on, right? Which, at our age, you kind of start running out of time. You value it more. So you're like,
Yes.
well, gotta make sure we do this right. So I went out there and started looking at the marketplace to see if anybody was doing anything or what everybody was doing with, parcel save. Cause I thought surely somebody's doing something. And I didn't see anything that I felt like there's a hole in the market for the top end of this. And so I started working on the luxury end of this thing. I thought, at the end of the day, I've just got to have either a nice custom mailbox business. I'd be happy with that. It's what guy wouldn't be that likes to work in craft, just doing some cool stuff. And we'll just see where it goes. And if there's an opportunity to do something that's going to be more of a mainstream product, that would be maybe more for the masses type thing, that'll come to me later. So I started out in luxury after recognizing that there was a hole in the market for that. And here we are today, 5 years later. And we won Best Product Texas in 2021. We're now distributed by a Berkshire Hathaway company, and we're on board with St. Jude's Children's Research. We're actually a sponsor for Dream.
Yeah, that's
so
right. I saw that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very cool.
So we're having a great time. Things are just, right now, things are, it's just awesome. Our Google pay-per-click marketing, we've got all the analytics in. We understand what it costs to acquire a customer, and we're just working to scale our business, and it's just a whole lot of fun.
Can I just backtrack a tiny bit and just
Sure.
5 years ago, that must have been pretty daunting for you, man. Like you're in an industry, you're already working, you're thinking, because I'm assuming you're in your 50s, right?
Oh yeah, I'm past the middle part.
Yeah. And so how is that coming home to the wife and the family, and all of a sudden you got to reevaluate, like you said earlier, you got to reevaluate everything. And a lot of people have done that, just as the pandemic was hitting and everyone was trying to figure out what's going to happen now, what are we going to do now? And I think there's been a lot of great survivors, especially in construction, which has been amazing.
Yeah.
So kudos out to you for pulling this off. But how was that ride?
Man, I tell you, it was a slow ride to the bottom. It's this thing with retail, brick and mortar. You can imagine you have something. Our family had a brick and mortar health food business for over 30 years, right? It's almost 40. My mom started the business in the 80s. Yeah, I found myself there, in my mid to late 20s, figuring out I didn't want to be a corporate guy. I came back home, said, they're like, hey, here's an opportunity. Let's do this thing together. So we're working to grow our business. And Jeff Bezos decides to start selling more than books on Amazon. It's like when he first started selling toilet paper, what the hell is this guy doing? What's he going to do next, right? So I spent a long time persisting in this business, Manny, trying to figure out how to diversify it. As any business owner does. So I worked probably too long persisting, and I should have pivoted sooner. But honestly, in my opinion, I pivoted at the right time because I had an opportunity to learn a whole lot about how to survive a tough time. For 10 years it is arduous, but when it was time to go, man, it's like it was time to go, and it's a lot to process. It was a lot to process for a long time, but it was almost like a relief to me. It's like, wow, now it's time to get on to the next thing, whatever that is. And I'm sure we'll figure it out. So I stayed in that industry for a little bit and thought maybe I needed to, build out some other, product lines in natural health products retail, which I'm well familiar with. Some believe I went from Vitaman to mailbox guy.
Yeah.
It's quite the shift. Everybody's like, man, where do you get all this? I'm like, well, I just grew up poor, doing a lot of different things, and just learn to survive like anything else.
I'm sure you've thought about this, and I want to dive deep into the products and figure out a bunch of things about it, because I've got a lot of questions on that. But I'm sure you thought about what is the brick and mortar retail landscape going to be 10 years from now with Amazon and so many people just gearing towards online shopping and delivering, and are we going to completely get rid of them?
I think it's going to erode down to, you're going to see a lot of distributors suffer from this too, because they don't have the small brick and mortar retailers to go to. I watched this whole thing just, implode from the inside out. In the 90s, I told my folks, I said, listen, this is going to be something to contend with. The first customer said, hey, I really don't need you to take a special order. I'll just go look it up on the internet. That was during the days of dial-up.
Yeah.
So it's like, wow, what are we going to do? And then it got faster, and you just knew that you're going to have a lot to contend with. Here I was, I just made a career change, and a few years later, I found out, wow, we've got the brick and mortar is going to have to compete with internet one day. My folks said they'll never outservice us. Never.
It's
and
true.
I said, you know what? They said that, but I said, I don't think we're quite right about that. I think we need to either find a way to get in there alongside and, and win. I never could quite figure out the whole, the online retail opportunity. I look at players out there, people that are in the industry that like herbs, et cetera. I mean, we had the same information. I just couldn't put the team of people together to develop the website, to develop, the channel that I needed to have an online store, which was a lot to figure out back then. Cause you couldn't, you think about it, you had dial up and you're trying to find someone to help you build a website, right?
Yeah,
It's like, we didn't have LinkedIn. It's like, they're like, why couldn't you figure this out? Well, it's a little more than you know. I mean, you know what you know, right, Manny?
yeah.
I mean, it's like, what you specialize in your trades. It just goes back to everything. It doesn't matter what we do. It's we all specialize typically in one thing or another. If we want to excel at anything. So it took me a while. I found the wrong people. Took a lot of my time. Took a lot of the money.
You're not the only one. All of us got into that boat. I know.
Yeah, it's like either we survive these experiences and we learn from them, or we don't. Right. So, but yeah, long game for this. It's I don't know. People have to figure some things out. You have to, if you can't shake it or bake it, then you probably better think about what you're doing.
Yeah.
And if you think, even now, like you look at our company, you start thinking about how you want to get your products out there. It's such a great opportunity though for business owners if you figure out how to embrace things, right? Because you never really win when you're fighting something, right? It's like you just have to figure out where you fit in. And I mean, direct sales, manufacturing companies with builders. Imagine this. I mean, you guys understand, remodel and you find your products through distributors, and think about the supply channels you're having to work with now. They're so inconsistent. I mean, it's like in the way that people communicate, you can look at, you're talking to me, and if you had a client that wanted our product, I mean, why not just get it from us?
Yeah.
And it's like, and then we're going to take away all the problems in between. People can say, well, it's hard to find people and great service. Well, I think you're going to see these relationships move more directly with specialty manufacturers like ourselves. That, fortunately, I know that our company has a great opportunity to scale. But even if you're a small business person, you want to, imagine this. If you're a manufacturer of cabinetry, just think about what else you could do with that talent. Instead of getting out there and maybe making cabinets every day that compete with other cabinets, and maybe if that's what you love to do and you've got a following, maybe you don't need, more business. A lot of guys don't need more business, but I think you just got to figure out where you fit in.
Are we sacrificing the customer service for convenience? Is that what the market is looking at?
I don't know. I think you get a variety of things. I think people figure out where they like to do business and they figure out where they don't. And then I used to have, I'll tell you the funny part was a lot of people come to me and say at these trade shows, and I was trying to understand what builders wanted or architects wanted or just general people wanted in our products, because I'm trying to figure this out. And they said, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible that it has come to this, that we have to have a secure place to lock pallet packages that we order online. I said, it's just amazing to me. These damn shoplifters just don't have anywhere to shop anymore because you guys started buying all this stuff everywhere, but in the retail store. So now they're coming to your house. Yeah. They're like, wow. So, we try to blame everybody for everything, but it's just where we're at this day and age. Don't think about, hey, I wish, this isn't 1984. It's not the 90s. I mean, well, it's not. You're going to have to find a way to have a good time where you're at. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So just find a way to get on with it. And I mean, nothing's ever, change is constant like it is anywhere. And, you just have to find a way to win.
So I want to dive into the products. I want to figure out what was the very first one that you packaged, you put together, fabricated, and then the whole line. Where's it all going and what you guys offer?
Right. So our first box was the combination, we call it the Mailbox Sentinel. It's a full service mail and package delivery safe made for curbside delivery. I was out to solve my problem. This is the solution I needed from my house. So I thought, right, if I was going to have a mailbox at my house, this is what I needed, to help keep that carrier from having to come up my driveway on. So from there, I went to 2018, I went to Atlanta. I had an invitation to go to Atlanta.
Okay.
Some people that were highly successful, in business. I got invited to this pitch. There were like 10 different companies pitching there, and they laughed at me. So I drove from Texas to Atlanta. Man, it was awesome.
It's a little bit of a drive. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It was a wild ride. We can go into crazy entrepreneur stories. I've got a few of those, but I made it to Atlanta, made it back, and I got laughed out of there and had to figure out.
They didn't get it. So they didn't understand it. Is that what it was about? They just thought that the market didn't want.
I went over there, man. I thought, man, I've got this idea, and these people are going to be blown away. I got there, and they're like, how much is that thing? I didn't even get the pitch. They're like, how much is that
That was
thing?
the first question.
Yeah, that's the first question. I'm like, great. I said $37.95 retail. They're like, they just start laughing. They're like, I'd rather have somebody steal my stuff than pay for that,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
these are successful people. I'm like, wow, this is not gonna go very well. It's like I'm like, okay, so I left Atlanta, and yeah, that was not I found myself at in Louisiana at a riverboat trying to figure out if I need to play craps to get home or overcharge a credit card. It was wild, man. It was heck. I got that's a long story. We'll probably have to drink a beer over that, but
Yeah, no,
it
for
was
sure. So
something.
you're dejected, and all of a sudden you're wondering, am I supposed to be doing this? Is this right? Or
No, I knew those guys were wrong. I knew after being in retail and losing a business to of brick and mortar to the internet. I said, no, this package delivery, it's just getting started, and
yeah,
people don't have any place for their stuff. And these guys don't know anything about what I went through. I'm ahead of this. I know more than they know, and I know what's coming. So I'm like, I just got to figure out where this fits in. What I learned from that is not everybody, the objection to the price was number one thing. So I started thinking, well, what can I do to maintain the quality of what we're doing, but to make this, to lower our price? And I thought, I just got to figure out what people want. And I think maybe I could just take the mail portion off and make it a package delivery device and just focus on the real source of the problem, right? When we have problems in business, we start thinking about, well, what is the real challenge? What do I have to overcome first? Right? It doesn't matter what else is out there. What do we need to do first? Well, first thing I need to do is generate sales and figure out how to get some positive feedback for what we're
yeah.
doing. So I started thinking about how to recreate variations, and then I started thinking about, well, that's a good idea. I'm going to go. And I went to another trade show the next week. You had another one lined up. I went to a trade show, local lawn and gun show, and I started getting some feedback from folks about what they needed. And I figured out that everybody, once again, they have the same problem, but they didn't all require the same solution. And hence now we've got like 5 different models with 12 different variations of products that we can make for people.
So do you want to describe to the listeners exactly how it works, how it's built, and the sizing?
Yeah. Do you want me to share a screen, or you want me to just go into detail?
You can share a screen. Yeah, we can do that for
Yeah.
sure. Totally.
Let me.
I'm encouraging everybody who's watching or listening to the show to start watching the show on the video channels, so then they can see what we're doing.
Host disabled participant screen sharing. Am I up and running here, Manny?
I don't see.
I think you have to enable it. Is it?
I
It
got to
says
enable
disable.
it. Multiple partner. Okay. So yeah, sorry, we're just trying to figure out.
Hey, man, no apologies, right?
No problem at all. Sorry. Try it now.
All right, here we go. Here we go, Manny.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so started a screen sharing.
Right, I'm screen sharing here. So
Look at that.
there you go. This is that's a box center with letter slot. It's that's in a nice neighborhood down in Florida. Gated entrances. So if you have an adjacent drive product placement and you want to keep people out of your property and you just want them, so now you need a single door, right? This is drive adjacent. Real popular product also. Our hero product. That's let me go to the home. This is our let me find myself.
So they're all like, I'm sure this is like, you've got the answer for this. They're all fire and weather safe, right?
I mean, everything's well done, Manny. Yes, I'm gonna open up this video real quick and show you this.
Is it easy to retro, Jeff?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
What's easy, right? But you'll see this guy opens up this package hatch, slides in the garage, simple product.
Oh, that's what I was wondering about. So all the key codes are already put into the order.
Yeah.
You guys don't provide the conveyor belt, do you?
We do.
You do?
We do.
Well, I like that.
Yeah, so that's the box gobbler.
Yeah.
And that was like, it was amazing. I had the idea with that product with my cousin. I actually had a conversation about it when we were in the early stages. Man, you just need to put a wall hatch in the side of a house.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what, Brian, I know you're right. This guy, the old school term, he's an industrial arts teacher, right?
Yeah.
So what do they call him now? but anyway, this guy, he understands.
Shop teacher. Yeah.
Oh yeah. My family's amazing up there in the Buffalo area. These guys are all like, second gen educators, all industrial arts people. But anyway, I understand that, Brian, but I knew that we had to get out there and develop a foothold for our products first.
Yep.
And that's where I kept working with the cabinets. We focused first, and then we came back to this wall hatch. This is our, in 2021, we built this wall hatch that we call the box gobbler. Once we figured out where it fit in, because it's funny, when you start a business like this, and I'd love to help anyone that has a question about how to start, consumer products company, or just maybe to help with their business. But there's a lot to understand when you think about building a building materials company, especially when you come from a retail background that I had, natural products. I mean, I understand, how to build things, but I never built a building material product. So when you start to understand, you need, Revit files, and you need to have things, specifically in place for these architects and designers to integrate these products into their designs. There's just a whole, installation details, just a lot to figure out. So we started with the other cabinets first.
How did you build the first one? Did you guys just?
I actually built it in a friend's barn.
Yeah.
It's my great friend of mine and Brian Lang, co-inventor of this first product. He and I went to high school together. His folks, they bought a sheet metal manufacturing company back in the mid '80s when I was in high school. That's where I cut my teeth in sheet metal, right? Just learning how to build things and understand that craft better.
So it was meant to be, Jeff. I mean, at this point,
it was.
Yeah.
I called him up and said, Brian, I've got this idea, man. I got to come talk to you. Yeah. I'm like, man, I got to figure this out because it's like, I've got my business life's on hold. My wife's like, what the hell are you going to do? And I'm like, well, I took a job selling cars for a bit, trying to get this idea off the ground. Because you don't just go out there, hey, let's build a prototype. Well, if you want to build it yourself, great. But I wanted to engineer this thing, put it together. I got with Brian, and he's just like, man, you're just as crazy as you ever were in high school, dude. He goes, if you're ever going to get over this stuff. I said, Brian, I think I've got a good idea. I think I really feel good about this. I want to pay you a regular rate. I want you to help me engineer this thing. I mean, this guy was hooking computers up to, CNC punch machines back in the day before they had hard drives, right? So great guy to work with. Brian's a great innovator, and he helped me bring my ideas to life. And when I was there about the third visit, he's like, dude, your market is huge. This market could be huge. And this is a guy that built a rug beater for car washes, right? He invented the rug beater for car wash. He invented collar cone for shirts that are pressed. I mean, he's a great innovator guy, and he helped me bring my ideas to life. But he said, man, this market is incredible. Manny, and I know it is because last year with the number of houses built in the U.S., if we'd captured 5% of the market with this box gobbler idea,
you guys were huge.
It'd be like a $60 million company.
Yeah.
This is for one item.
I want to share a little history here, but before that, I got one question. When am I going to see it on Yellowstone?
On Yellowstone?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe soon. I have ABC supposed to call me from Memphis today.
I could see it on Yellowstone already. I just haven't seen it on Yellowstone, but I could totally see it on Yellowstone, which would be kind of interesting.
That's wild. And I'm embarrassed to say, what is Yellowstone?
See, the show on Paramount, the country. Western Montana and everything like that. Yeah. No problem at all. You're too busy. You're too busy. Like I just figure that in the States there, everybody's watching Yellowstone is what I just assume. Everybody up here in Canada is.
Are they?
Yeah. They love it.
I think the last thing I sat down to watch was the Ozarks.
Okay. All right.
But no, I'm with you.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. So what's funny is that basically let's talk a little bit about porch pirates, man. This is on the Canadian side here. 1 in 4 Canadians have had a package stolen in their lifetime. I'm one of them. I've had that happen to me. 1 in 10 have had a package worth more than $250 stolen. The average value of a stolen goods is about $113. Saskatchewan is the worst province for package theft, followed by Alberta, Ontario, and then last is Quebec. The issue is more worse in the U.S. So now you have this information, which is 3 in 4 Americans have had their package stolen in their lifetime. Wow, you guys are 3 and 4. 35% have had a package worth more than $200 stolen. The average value of stolen goods is between 50 and 100. The estimated 19.5 billion worth of packages is stolen every single year in the U.S. These are some crazy numbers. California, speaking of which, is the worst state for package theft on the top 10 list of worst cities for package theft in the U.S. Californian cities fill 4 of the spots, including the number 1 spot. And then, interestingly, Florida has the least amount of packages stolen. On the top of 10 list of best cities for package theft in the U.S., in Florida is filled with 3 of the spots, including number 1 and number 2. So there's a lot of package stealing going on.
That's correct. 210 billion is what I saw last year for U.S. It's
wow,
it's
yeah, we're up
staggering.
to 20 billion worth in the U.S.
It's such a problem, Manny. I can tell you that it certifies our product as green. And the reason why is you think about the resources saved not having to redeliver stolen packages.
It's right
think
there.
about all the CO2 emissions reduced by putting a package safe at your house.
So, Jeff, who's the actual loser in this whole scenario? Packages are getting stolen. Are they getting returned to vendor, and then all of a sudden it's Amazon and them? They're hiking up pricing for these stolen packages, or how does it work?
Honestly, I think everybody loses, right?
Yeah.
That's all of that's just staggering. I mean, all the way down to the vendors, the manufacturers. I mean, it's incredible. People think things just show up from Amazon. Well, as a vendor and you're supplying products to Amazon, well, that's not always the case. I mean, there's a lot that goes on in between there. It's related to package theft. Amazon doesn't always take the bite on all of that, right?
No.
So it's everyone's affected. It increases price. It's the best thing that we can do to overcome this is whether it's a nice package safe that we offer or something you want to build yourself. I mean, deterrence is going to be likely the best solution for all of this. And, the one thing that I talk to people about most is, when you go to our website, you won't see a whole lot about package theft. It'll likely help you find us. I mean, through our display advertising and things that we do, through our pay-per-click marketing on Google and so on. But the one thing I really try to help people understand is, think about this. Do you care more about what's stolen off your front porch, or do you care more about, the people inside your home?
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So think about this. Everybody wants to secure their packages, but does everyone really think about creating a safe space, for this whole delivery activity that comes to their house now? Where before it's kind of wild. You think about how this has evolved. We had branded carriers come into our homes, UPS, whoever, FedEx, all the guys. USPS here in the States was handling that for a while, as I'm sure in Canada, your postal services too. It still is. But okay, so now you have this new carrier that's coming there, and Amazon doesn't even have a branded carrier yet. They just have contract carriers and yellow vests that they picked up at any building supply place.
Yep.
And they're walking to anybody could be walking to your front door with a yellow vest on at my house, back just a few years ago. You didn't know who the hell was coming up your driveway. So you start thinking about, who's coming to our homes, and we kind of let our guard down because you're always like, well, I think that's the Amazon person. Well, that period of complacency, if they had a secure place to put their packages, whether it was one of our nice products or just a nice place that's designated at your home, imagine if they don't go to put that there, you're going to go like, why are they coming to the front door? Because it's supposed to be over there. So It really creates a buffer space, which makes it, I believe, a great home safety feature to consider when you start thinking about bringing all these people to your house.
So, Jeff, I want to get into the construction of the units. I know that you mentioned you had 4 or 5 different models. We talked about the one model there. I'm curious about the actual construction of it, and also at the curbside, how are you guys recommending that it should be mounted, I guess, foundation-wise? So, I mean, to prevent anybody from literally lifting this and taking it out and dealing with it later on, kind of thing, in a different location.
Yeah, absolutely. So, for our curbside products, and all of our products actually that are cabinets, we have a base bracket that's mounted in you'll see, I'll pull up a drawing right here, Manny. There's anchor holes in the bottom here. So simply pour a pad and, just redhead it down, or however you want to do it. But so it's if our products do require power, so you'll either need to run a 110-volt circuit, or use one of the solar powered applications that we offer, or connect it to 12 or 24 volts. So
that's nice. You don't need a lot of power, right? So a solar unit would be fine.
That's right. Solar's fine.
And then the other models that you got going on, so it's just different sizes. I'm looking at this one here, and
Right. This is our XL48. We do really well with this in the luxury markets. There's going down to one of our smaller units. You'll see this is a standard product, and you'll see it still has the anchor bolts in the bottom of it.
yeah,
But you'll see it's almost, almost 24. It's almost 2 by 2 cube.
yep,
This our mailbox Sentinel, the full service mailbox, we have a tapered cabinet that we use on that specific item. Just kind of like a cabinet maker creates a toe jam on the bottom
yep,
of a cabinet
yep.
around your kitchen sink. So it's just, and my wife's like, it still looks like a trash can. I'm like,
No,
babe, yeah,
yeah, okay, but it doesn't. I know what you're saying. I mean, how did
oh
you come up
yeah.
with these original sizes? Like, what was it that you got to, and you started thinking, okay, let's try to make it 2 foot by 2 foot, and then I guess 3 foot high.
Yeah, so I honestly what I did is I went out there and felt I had to understand where I felt like people were comfortable already. So in Texas, they do a lot of architectural mailboxes because it's not as cold here as it is up in Canada and other
Yeah,
regions. So and I know it's still that they still do surrounds on those, but in Texas, the box size was like 2 foot by 2 foot. So I thought, well, I'm going to take a look at that dimension. That's what people are used to looking at initially. And I started out with farm ranch here in Texas with a drive adjacent placement like this, which is our most popular item. And and then once I started looking, further at the details of well, what size packages are they shipping?
yeah,
So I went back to Amazon. I found the data, figured out what are the most frequently shipped packages from Amazon, and started to understand where do our products fit in based on what people want to look at and the size of packages that they need to accommodate. So anyway, that's how I initially began to determine size. And then, some guy out in California is like, hey, I need a bigger one.
oh, so
I
you
said,
can
okay.
customize it now.
Well, we say you can customize these. I mean, we do customizations, but we have such a great variety of different models that we manufacture that we can, in my opinion, we can most likely meet, your requirements for both delivery and security with any solution that we have
Yeah,
from curbside to countryside. I mean, there's so many different variations. When you start thinking about our products, it's very simple. It's like, how do you want the doors to lock and unlock? Do you need them both to lock and unlock? Is it curbside adjacent? Is it for a gated entrance product? Is it going to be a column insert? So it's all common sense once you understand how things need to operate. And it's when you start thinking about our products, they're not good, better, best products. It's really more about what is your lifestyle in relationship to package delivery. And once we understand that, then we can very simply find your solution.
and then I mean, I'm curious about price range. Where did you end up with? I guess the smallest unit to the largest unit, or the most expensive, least expensive?
Yeah. Yeah. So our most moderately priced parcel safe, Manny, is 1895. There you
Okay,
go. It's so we have an 1895 wall hatch. It's everything's well done. I mean, our access controller is the keypad. It'll manage up to 50 different codes. It's very durable. Tens of thousands of applications, of different types of applications, for outdoor, from Saudi Arabia to, the colder regions. It's very reliable. So
is it
it's
structurally sound, Jeff? So then, if you were
oh
actually
yeah.
doing a wall hatch and you're cutting open a brick opening, do you still require put a lintel in there, or actually the brick can sit on top of that?
No, you would need a lintel.
You still need a lintel. Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's 0125 aluminum. It's all aluminum and stainless steel. It's all the way down to the weather stripping. Everything we do is top quality, but you will need to frame this out just like you would a window.
Got it.
It's not that complicated.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so that's
But
it.
we've had,
And then what's the most
yeah,
expensive? How high can it get?
you know, uh, for our standard products, I mean, it go up over $8,000 for
Oh
a
wow.
combination
Okay.
mail and parcel safe. Yeah, for like our XL48, this is the mailbox Sentinel XL48 combination mailbox and package delivery safe. This is the finger bottoms that we have inside here make them very ergonomic. You start thinking about a product like this, it's a durable good and it's something you plan to buy forever, right?
Yeah.
Especially at this price. But I'll tell you straight up, man, people who pay for this product, they don't care about the price. They just
No,
care about the quality.
the quality.
So it's the fantastic customers that we work with. But our products, they have a package transfer system in the bottom of each of the cabinets, which make it very ergonomic to get the products in and out of them.
Yeah.
And it's actually one of our prized utility patents. So yeah, the finger bottom design is one of our product's coolest features, and hopefully people will recognize that more.
You ever had a client who's actually reached out to you and just asked for much bigger for whatever reason? I don't know why, but because these are big enough.
Right. There's I actually had a guy up there, close to you. recently purchased a package cabin. Our package cabins.
What
This
size
is
are those?
yeah. This so people in I had a guy in Colorado call me up once. He said, "Hey Jeff, I like what you're doing, but I have this with like 21 homes up the mountain. We all take care of each other, but we're tired of putting our stuff in a plywood box
Yeah.
with a padlock." So he said, "We just want some. Can you help me build something nice? It looks like you guys do really cool stuff." I said, "Yeah, let's do this." So we built this package cabin, and this is a product that works well for remote area locations. We have some out there in neighborhoods in California now too. I built it for an HOA up in Colorado, and a guy from California calls me and say, "Hey, I need that in my neighborhood." So
And that's built out of aluminum as well too?
yeah, aluminum and stainless steel,
Yep.
and that's a fully self-contained product. One code opens the door; it'll open both of them. It's well done, really smooth interior bottom, so it slides packages in and out really well. But yeah, commercial placements, larger ones. These
I
we
love
have,
that you got all the different colors as well.
yeah, that's we're right across the street from the powder coater here in Stephenville. I've got a great relationship with those. It's if you have an REL on a bronze finish for a window that those special clients have, if you got it, we can get it.
Do you have one on the site? I'd love to see a red one. Is that possible, or is it you just click it on the color and it changes it?
We have a configurator that's actually supposed to start going live today. I don't have that up yet, but this is the version of this website that we have right now is this is where we're at. But hopefully this is going to change here in the next day or so, and you'll see you're actually going to get to go in here and build your box.
So I'm curious, Jeff, did you end up going back to the trade shows or bumping into some of those guys that first 5 years ago that just said you're out to go, you're out. That's all it is. Did you ever bump into them and just go, wait a minute?
It's I haven't really bumped into those people again. There was I tell you what, it's pretty wild. It's a great time. But one of the guys I was pitching there was Evander Holyfield.
Really?
It was pretty cool. Yeah. He was there and he's like, so it was so much fun. I thought, I really wish I could have a conversation with this guy because this guy's been in the ring, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But so have I. Just like the rest of us, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I fought for 10 years to keep my business, and he's just like, just keep your chin up and keep going. It's like, man, if you only knew that all I'm getting home on is the bottle of water and the kind bar you just gave me. I had to pawn a pistol in Alabama on a Sunday to finish getting home. It was a wild ride, But like, I got this, Vander. I wish we could talk, But no, I haven't bumped into those guys. But honestly, that was just an awesome time to understand. I mean, it doesn't matter what your idea is. If you'll just take the time to vet it out and understand it yourself, because you're bottom line, you're the one that's going to have to live with the decisions that you make, right? And where you spend your time. So whatever it is you want to do in business, there's a lot of information that you can gain out there right now. Look at what we have at our fingertips now.
Yes.
We didn't have this when we were in our 20s and 30s, did we? I mean, it's like you're out. I mean, it was just coming around. I mean, you had to figure things out the old school way, talk to people, whether it's, or, maybe you're in college and picked up some of that information there or whatever. But the ability to understand, what you want to approach with your business life now is just incredible. It's a small business owner.
The opportunities that you have out there for sure.
Get out there, do your homework, and just figure out where you want to dive in.
Have you guys any Canadians reach out and ask you to send some out there?
We have multiple placements up in Canada. Yes.
Yeah.
We just recently we have I believe we're connected now where we can actually configure those with Broker Buddy. All the VAT tax, everything else that goes up there. Yeah. Canada, I believe, is going to be a great market for us. We have our trademarks and patents filed there as well. I have to check and see if we got those released. But I know we actually have patents and trademarks in the EU as well as Australia. So we're growing.
Oh, wow.
See what happens.
Yeah. So then, and everything's still manufactured here in the U.S.?
Everything's manufactured here in the U.S. Correct.
Okay, cool.
Mostly here in Texas.
Yeah.
So we should be 100% vertically integrated with our company Q1 of next year. So we're forming all our own metal now, and we'll have a laser coming here pretty soon. That's the last piece we have to put together.
So what are the plans for the next little while? I mean, I without, I guess, you divulging too much secrecy, but I mean, I'm sure you're thinking about new ideas, new boxes, and new things, right?
Honestly, as far as new items go, we're more about just continuing to just hone our craft and make the products better and better and better. I mean, they're already awesome, but I know that we're looking at some technology the other day that I think could easily integrate with our products, for Amazon deliveries, whether it's their Ring video doorbell, which you can already actually fit on our products. And it was by no mistake that when you look at these, the height of this front piece here on the front,
Yeah.
it actually it'll accommodate a video doorbell from Ring or Nest. So when you start thinking about new ideas, it's more about getting back to understanding how technology is going to integrate with our product. I think it's going to be pretty wild at some point where somebody wants to actually operate one of our boxes for, as a utilize it for a drone delivery test. I mean, drone delivery is coming, right? And I tell you, but you're still going to need a lot of packages delivered
How
with
far away are
vehicles
we
and
from
things like
that,
that.
Jeff?
No, that's happening now.
It's
That's I mean,
really.
they're testing this. They've been doing it for years. It's coming. It's you can start if you'll. I've got actually on Google Alerts. I don't know if anybody uses Google Alerts, but if there's something or a market you ever want to pay attention to,
Yeah.
just go find Google Alerts and I put in drone delivery, and every time, I mean, it's amazing what's going on out there. All the big players.
So how
It's
are you
happening.
guys integrating the drones with your keypad? How would that all work? I guess it'd be more of a signal.
It's definitely gonna take some tech. I mean, that's what we started the business as an IoT product. And now we're an MVP company, minimal viable products company. So we started out with this grand idea. We're going to make it IoT. Thought that's what everybody wanted. Figured out that when it comes to security, not everybody wanted their boxes connected as devices. So what I do see though, for all the boxes that we've placed out there in the marketplace, I think it's going to give us a great opportunity to go back to those folks and say, hey, if we have an opportunity to do a beta for a drone test, in your area, we could do an upfit to your box, add servos to it, and all the tech you need for that to communicate. So I know it's going to take a partnership for us because I don't want to, do that on our own. I'd rather work with someone that has that piece. We started in that area, spent a lot of money, and I can tell you that's a moving target. So I just went back to simplicity, and people actually told me, I just listened to the customers. I say, we just want this thing to lock, keep it simple. And I know these keypads, it's going to be around for a long time. But when you look at our products, what's going to be cool about them, they're all actually integrated with an egress switch on them already. So all we have to do is hook the tech up to that, and it's going to be ready to go. So there's a lot of things we've already put in place to embrace the integrators and all these other folks, whether UPS or FedEx, Amazon, whoever, at some point I'm sure they'll bring their API to us and we'll integrate whatever technology they have. I envision that, your UPS guy's going to walk into one of our boxes one day and they're just going to scan the package and the door's going to open. I've got ideas for how that's going to happen, but it's just going to take time. But what's cool is for everyone that's purchased one of our products, we'll be able to integrate those technologies with them since the materials are very easy to work with. It's aluminum, so if you need to, cut a hole in here for an IP camera, it's possible. If you need to, add other technology to it, we all understand that you can add tech to just about anything.
So we're both old enough, Jeff, that we remember rotary phones and having to dial a number that had a lot of zeros in it. And then can I say like that keypad eventually is going to turn into some sort of scan, like a fingerprint or something like that? Yeah, that's eventually going to happen, right?
Absolutely. That, and I feel like, well, when you look at Amazon right now, you go out there and you look at what they're doing with the Ring video doorbell, right?
Yeah.
My son and I were looking at this just yesterday and said, that product, because we had a customer ask, well, how can we get this thing to open remotely? Well, a lot of times when people are asking those questions, they're not as security conscious as they think they are, right? Because usually you don't want that to happen, especially if you have a unit attached to the side of your house. But when you look at the video doorbell from Ring, you could actually integrate that product with our product right now. It looks like, and you could open the Amazon carrier could actually open our box. But then when you think about that, also that keypad's still going to be required for other carriers, right?
Yes.
So your postal carrier may not have that tech yet. So we're in that period of time where things are still evolving for how carriers are bringing these, these last mile package deliveries to our homes and what type of technology they're going to ultimately use. But we all both know in time that's going to eventually smooth out, and they're going to have something that works, and we'll just have the infrastructure in place with our cabinets to develop or integrate those other technologies as they arrive.
And then I guess the big question is sometimes in the odd time, you'll get a huge package that won't fit. I mean, you can't really solve that problem at that point because those are rare, far and few.
Yeah. I mean, our products, I mean, our wall hatch manages like 94% of all packages shipped, right?
Yeah.
And if you look at the door opening, it's 14 by 28. And that's the inside measurement from the bottom of the roller bottom point to where the package has the headroom underneath the lock there. So 14 by 28, when you start thinking about this space, it's really, it'll manage, like I said, 94% of all packages. So it's like anything else. We focused on the solutions that met the majority of the challenges required. that people were having. So yeah, we you can't put a dishwasher in here or
No.
probably a television set, but you know,
But in all fairness,
for,
Jeff, if you got a
yeah,
package that large, it's probably that expensive. You probably want to
yeah,
be
you know,
home or whatever to receive it, right?
yeah, yeah. And do somebody a favor, go shop at a store if you can. Maybe you get some of that.
But like we
Bring it
said
out.
earlier, I mean, those, and I
Yeah,
agree with you. I've joked recently where I kept on telling a lot of guys that listen to the show, I could see all the malls turning into condos. I can see a lot of people not going to malls
yeah.
anymore, right? So it's kind of, that landscape is changing.
Oh yeah, it's changed a lot. You know what's wild is, and everybody else that's in brick and mortar retail, it doesn't matter who they are. When this whole thing with the internet started, evolving, well, the distributors started selling directly to the internet, right?
Yeah.
And it was like this whole shakeout period. All these brands that didn't want to be, that were specific to mom and pop retail stores, whether they're hardware stores or health food stores. These manufacturers, they were in a period of quandary too. They're like, well, we want to sell, we want to do volume, we want to go where our customers are, but we can't alienate these mom and pop retailers, right? Well, now that most of the mom and pop retailers are gone, with the exception of those that have chosen to survive and persist with their business because they can, based on likely the geographics of where they live.
Yeah.
But I tell you, man, it's more and more people are shopping online, and I was curious to understand with this COVID crisis back, in 2020, how that was going to affect our business. We just moved into our new facility, and like, man, what are humans going to do? They're going to be home more, so maybe they're going to be more inclined to being open to receiving packages because they're not away from their house. They don't have the problem with taking that package off their front porch. But what I found out is, man, you think about it, the internet grew how many times? 10 times overnight, and more people now had the problem, and less people wanted to interact with other people.
Yeah.
So people, we don't even, it's like, I tell you, man, it was wild. About a month ago, it was late night, and somebody came and knocked on our door here at the shop. It was late, and I was working, and my son was still here, and I'm like, who the hell's knocking at the door this time of night?
Yeah.
And anyway, he was over there at that point. I mean, he was chilling out, he was gaming. I'm like, this guy's still knocking on the door, and the dog's barking. I'm like, what the hell? Why won't that guy go away? And my son's like, that guy, it's contactless delivery, Dad.
Yeah.
He's not even supposed to knock. He's supposed to put it outside the door. I'm like, people don't even want to open the door anymore. I didn't even understand that. I didn't even understand Domino's did that, right? Because that guy must be new. He doesn't know just to leave it there. But here we are. We don't. We're socially as human creatures. We just don't. I don't think we really understand exactly what we want to do. With everything that's changed so much. Some people have become more introverted, and now they do less. It's just wild how we have changed in our culture with technology. And I mean, I'm just like, hey, I'm old fashioned guy. I like to get out there. I like to be with people. And
Yeah, I'm the same
like
way. I
So
can only assume that some of it's going to come back. People are going to want to connect, but
I think so too.
the mom and pops, though, I feel bad for them because they are slowly they're disappearing.
Yeah, you can feel bad. I tell you what, it's a tough time, but you know what? We live in a great country to reinvent and do things. I mean, get out there. I mean, there's people that didn't have this opportunity. They're walking from El Salvador. You know what I'm saying? So American people here. I mean, we've got a great opportunity to go out there and do something. You can say, well, competition is fierce. Well, if it's not, then it's probably not worth doing, right? I like to do things that excite me, but it's tough. But you can always find a way to find a seam in it for yourself. I mean, just you got to get out there and go figure it out. But
I want to ask you, Jeff. I mean, Texas is a big state. It's almost a country of its own, right? And there's a lot of construction going on there, from what I gather when I'm talking to a lot of people that follow me and follow the show. Right. Is there a particular bone that you got with any construction going on in Texas there?
Texas is a great state. Love that we're here. I moved here actually from the Northeast back in '76.
Oh yeah, okay.
So I'm a damn Yankee.
But you don't miss the code. You don't miss the code.
No, I do not miss the cold. Yeah, it's nice to visit. Most of my family's up in the Northeast, but if I had a bone to pick with Texas, it's
we don't want to upset all the Texans, but I'm just curious.
No. I would say, I just love for people to slow down and maybe take a look at things a little bit better. I mean, or maybe they look at them too much. I don't know. Most of our business, it was wild when I got out there and started selling our products. I'll share this. This is but the builder group's been great. I won Best Product Texas in 2021, right?
Nice.
And you know how many units we sold with that award?
How many?
I think three. Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay? We won Best Product Texas for the
Yeah.
wall hatch,
Yeah.
man. Texas Builders Association. You know, a year later we sold three in Texas.
Three.
Three. Yeah, I mean, and Texas is a tough nut to crack, man. And I've lived here, since it was a third world country in '76. It seems like. I mean, I moved here. I didn't know where the hell I was. I was
Yeah.
getting chewed up by fire ants, and I didn't know where it was. I came from upstate New York, but I figured it out real quick. But the people of Texas are awesome. They're coming around. Austin is taking off like crazy. Love to Land West Development. Love those guys. They're one of the top architectural landscape firms down there. All the architectural community has really warmed up to our products. They love the quality of what we're doing. So we're beginning to penetrate the luxury market in Texas as well as the builder market. Now that we've developed some showplace home placements and things like that. Once the builders, not only I know they love our product, they just don't understand how much their customers need our product.
Yes.
Because the customers they don't know that we're available yet. Most people, they're like, I've never heard of that. So we got to create some visibility for these builders. And I know they'll be right on board, but our first community developments in Vegas. It's pretty wild. Blue Heron actually is the name of the company. It's out of Las Vegas, and Amber Canfield, great lady there. She's the purchasing manager. She found us over a year ago.
So how many homes are we talking about in the community that you guys are working with?
There's supposed to be like 80.
Wow.
80 homes in that development. They're going to be the first package pirate-proof neighborhood in the U.S.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, I sent her. I mean, I thought about this last night. I thought, things are really cooking up for us. I thought, you know what? I need to get a hold of the Vegas news channel out there and see if I can get them to start doing a story, because we got like 12 units I think out there right now, and they're framing up these homes. They don't build them overnight, right? So this is a very high end luxury home edition, but a super great opportunity for us to develop visibility for our products. And you think about the community, if no one has to go in there, and no one's going to come there to steal packages, because there's not going to be anyone on the front porch, right? So through deterrence, we'll create communities safer. And like I tell everyone, we'll be keeping the turkeys out of your neighborhood all year round. So happy Thanksgiving.
Cool. I want to get close to wrapping up. Is there any other pieces of information you want to share?
I'd just like to share, hey, if you're out there in business as an owner, I mean, especially all you guys in trades, I grew up in trades my whole life. If you're trying to figure out how to maybe do some things differently with your business, or you just need somebody to bounce. Heck, here I am. I've been around the horn of it, and got a lot of great experience. Love to help other entrepreneurs that find themselves in a tough spot. And you got to just remember, sometimes it's time to pivot, and sometimes it's time to persist. It doesn't mean that every time we hit a tough time that we need to have a knee-jerk reaction, but it does mean that we really need to think about where we spend our time. It's because at the end of the day, if you're in your business, if it's not built to be bought, if it's not built to sell, then you really have to make certain that you can take enough away from your business across the period of time, that you spend there to ensure that you can take care of your family for the rest of your, the time that you've worked so hard for. So anyway, just look for me on Jeff at Kutas on LinkedIn, or it's the best way to reach out to me if you want to, direct, private message me there or whatever. Yeah, love to help anyone that needs my support.
I'm sure, Jeff, that we all gone. If you're in construction, everybody's an entrepreneur basically, and you probably went through some dark days. Is there one key thing that kept you focused to, even though everything was kind of going south, but you saw the north? You know what I'm saying?
Manny, I'm super fortunate. My wife, we've been married like 32 years. She's my high school sweetheart.
Nice.
And she's been a great partner. This lady, I call her my six-figure girl, right? She would, if all I can tell you guys is marry well and keep them. These I tell you, she's been awesome. She's been hugely supportive. I've had to reinvent myself a couple times now. You go through, if you're lucky enough to figure out who you are, right? But it's just family, man. Just hold on to your family. Here it is. It's the holidays. The family's a great support, system. It should be for you, right? Faith and just got to find a way to find the light. If you find yourself in a period of darkness like that, it doesn't mean it's over. It might mean it's just time to start something new. And if you're tough enough to go through that transition, and try to figure it out. I think the experiences and the rewards on the other side are just incredible. But just keep the faith, and just keep working hard. And hey, at the end of the day, I'm the type of guy, I just don't want to leave anything on the table. I just want to know I let it all hang out. And,
Yeah.
You
gave it the best shot, man.
Yeah. But it doesn't mean it's going to be easy.
No.
So, but that's honestly the tough part is usually the part that you remember anyway. So,
well, Jeff, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. You know what I mean?
That's right. Lessons and blessings, right?
And I totally forgot. Before I do the 12 questions here, your Thanksgiving's tomorrow.
It is.
Yeah, which is always a big, huge deal. I was curious. I was thinking about this the other day. Is it bigger than Christmas, the holidays, or is it like I always see Thanksgiving being such a massive deal in the States?
Thanksgiving is a huge holiday, and Thanksgiving is making a comeback since COVID, right?
Yeah, of course.
There we go. But Christmas Christmas is my number one.
Yeah,
I love Christmas. I mean, all the holidays are great, but Thanksgiving's huge. But we'll likely, I know our family will do something small. Most of my kid, I'll give him a shout out. Blake, he's up in Langley. He's my Air Force kid.
Nice.
So we'll look forward. We're not going to have our whole family together this year, but we're all still connected, right? So
a little Zoom call-in, a little Zoom Christmas
there you go.
or something like that. All right, let's do the 12 questions before that. So Jeff Kutas again from MB Sentinel, co-founder, co-ventor, and www.mbsentinel.com. Jeffrey at mbsentinel.com, and all over social. Find him on LinkedIn and Instagram under MB Sentinel, or his name itself. You ready for this?
Let's do it.
What is your favorite construction word?
Favorite construction word?
Word. Any word.
Any word.
Any word.
I'm lost, man.
Favorite
construction word? Dude, I don't know.
What's your least favorite construction word?
It's good enough.
Yeah. What turns you on in construction?
Put my hands on things.
What turns you off in construction?
Clean up after somebody else.
What's your favorite curse word? We haven't shared any. You don't have to.
We haven't shared any?
No, we haven't shared any curse.
The mother of all cuss words
would
be my favorite cuss word. That'd be fuck.
Yeah.
Because it means so many different things.
The go-to. What's your favorite vehicle? Anything in the world?
Anything flatbed truck.
A flatbed truck.
Yeah.
Any particular model?
Hell, right now, I mean, honestly, anything that they're all reliable. I love Dodge. I love Ford. I love them all. Anything but Chevy right now. I've got a bad taste in my mouth that they didn't help me with. I'm still pissed.
It's funny how it just takes one. It just takes one little incident, and all of a sudden things change.
We're not customers. We're fans, Manny. We're not customers. We're fans. And
but
if you're not a fan,
on the flip side, it only takes one good deed from them to keep you.
That's it, and that's everything in your business life.
Yes.
In your personal life, everything. So,
what's your least favorite vehicle in the world?
Least favorite vehicle in the world? It'd be an Isuzu truck.
Oh, okay.
Worthless.
They don't fare well, huh?
It's just no capacity.
Yeah. What construction sound or noise do you love?
Jackhammer.
What construction sound or noise do you hate?
Angle grinder.
Yeah. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt one day? Anything in the world?
Anything in the world? I'm just happy doing this, Manny.
Cool. What profession do you not want to do ever?
Retail. I'm out.
Last question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at those pearly gates?
Good job.
Thanks, Jeff. It's great to chat with you and meet you in person, because last time we spoke was on the phone.
Absolutely, Manny.
Yeah, which is great. And all the best to you. I'm looking forward to seeing many more of these boxes up here in Canada as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We should we'll have a conversation at some point after the holiday, and look forward to reconnecting with you guys. Thanks for having us on the show.
Yeah.
Appreciate the opportunity, and hello to everybody up there in Canada. Stay warm.
Thanks so much, Jeff. Everyone, check it out again. It's www.mbsentinel.com. Reach out to him. He's definitely gonna. You'll answer. You'll reply. You'll talk to him. Anybody who's got questions, by all means, just reach out.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, Manny. Great show, guy.
Perfect. Thank you, Angelina. And we are out of here.